Rocco. Hi, Rocco.
Hello.
He has a problem with his boiler. Apparently the box has melted. Some flames must have been coming out of the boiler there for where the shield sits for the boiler itself. One of the main problems is he doesn't have a flame rollout switch. How old do you think this boiler is?
I would think since the house was built, 1960.
Okay, so apparently they did not have rollout switches for the flames. So we're going to be installing one along with a new electronic ignition board. Alright, Rocco, so what do we got to really do here to mount this
Okay, we're going to mount this box, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do it, because I'm going to do it on a spot where we're not going to be able to get the camera, and then we'll show you the finished product when we're done.
And how come you're going to mount it on the other side versus putting it on this side?
Because we want to stay away from the gas line, because this puts out a little bit of it's electronic ignition, so it puts out a spark. And we obviously, if we have any kind of leak right here, we obviously don't want to have this ignite off any type of gas.
Unless, of course, you want like an insurance claim or something like that.
So what we're going to do is I'll show you where the wires are going to go in this port, and then I'm going to put it on the other side of the boiler, wire it all in, and then you guys will get the feel for what it's going to look like. We're going to stick the red wire under the MV terminal. I'm just going to loosely stick it on for now. When you actually do it, you're going to push real hard to get it in. Okay,
and the MV, and well, the first two are MV and
MVPV.
Which is for?
The gas valve. That's to control the gas valve.
Okay.
The opening and shutting of the gas valve. We're going to take the white wire next, and that'll go on the MVPV port. Once again, I'm just going to loosely set it on so you're going to get a feel for what it's going to look like. The next wire is going to be the blue wire, which will go to the PV port. Okay. Then we go with the green wire to the ground. Obviously it's your grounding for the unit. Then these two are from my thermostat wire, which comes out of my zone control board up there.
And the zone control board is for your circulators for the boiler, correct?
Yes. So these are going to be hooked up. The orange one will go to the 24 volt port, 24 volt ground port actually, because we're going to skip the 24 volt port, and then the black one will go to the THW port. Okay.
Alright.
That's how that should look when you're done.
Now that white tab that's in there into that box, that is for a electronic dampered vent for your exhaust.
Right.
So if you would have one, which would basically look like this one, but only there would be a damper inside that open and closes. You'd have like a little motor hanging off to the side. When a call for heat would come, the damper would open up, and once it opens up and it hits that end switch, it continues the voltage down to your box to tell the box to keep going with the sequence of operation. If the damper doesn't open, then it doesn't do it. It's all for safety feature and efficiency.
Okay.
So that's and then you got the orange cord, which is actually routed to your
spark ignition.
Spark ignition for your pilot.
And then this will be the last wire we're going to install, and it's going to go where it says spark. We push that on there, and that should be about it for the wiring of this box.
Alright, so I'll let you get to mounting it there over on the other side. Okay, you can see that's the finished wiring and installing of the box itself. It's mounted securely on the side of the boiler. All the wires are in their correct spot, and they're away from any kind of gas line. They're away from any kind of flames or anything like that. The wires inside are all routed down below. They come down, go down below to where the flames would be, so none of the wires will ever get melted. We're going to have to put the flame rollout switch on the panel there for the flames, which is this thing right here. So the flame rollout's going to sit in here. That way if any flames come up and they constantly keep coming up, the flame rollout will sense that and shut off the gas valve because it'll interrupt the signal for the box. So we're actually going to do that in with the thermostat wire. As you can see, thermostat wire is coming off of a temperature switch. When that's calling, it'll send the 24 volts down and into the box. We're going to interrupt one of those wires with the flame rollout switch. So like I said before, if it senses a flame, it'll shut off the gas valve.
My best bet would be to mount this like this. Oh, like this.
Yeah, I would actually take it and mount it like that. Now it's very important on these switches, none of the metal that's coming out is actually touching anything, but yeah, I would mount it like that.
Like this right here.
Yeah, because your wires, it's going to come in through those for the spade connector.
Okay.
And the other part is, so we're going to put that in place, make sure nothing gets, none of the metal is actually going to touch any other metal.
Let's get my flashlight on. Make sure I'm set down where I need to be. Oh, that actually looks pretty nice.
Looking good?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So now as you can see, right where that flame sensor is, if any flames come up, it's going to sense it and shut off the signal for the gas valve. Alright, we did some investigation and we realized the reason his box actually melted, and it's very important, that's why I tell homeowners all the time to get their systems maintenance, is the burner tubes or the blast tubes, when the gas is going through, are not igniting all the way, because there's little slots, which I'll show you in a second, where the gas actually comes up through. It gets ignited and you have your flame. Some of those are actually blocked, so it's actually building up a little bit of extra pressure in the tube, and it's causing rollout of the flame, which actually melted the box because the flame was outside that little safety panel, and got too hot in there and melted the box. So he's actually kind of lucky he didn't melt everything inside the boiler there. But we're going to pull out a blast tube, and I'll show you what they look like in this boiler, and we're going to clean them out and get them the right proper gas flow, and we will adjust the gas pressure and the flame. That's what one of these burner tubes look like, yeah. So it's basically the flame gas is coming in through the bottom, coming up just through this port.
It comes in through here. It fills up the port, comes out this little line right here, and then the flame will ignite through this entire section out.
Okay, so we're going to grab a vacuum. We're going to clean out the bottom of the boiler. We have a lot of debris in there. Like I said before, Rocco just bought this house. He's redoing everything. It's winter time. We want to get the heat going. So this is the system that was put in the house. It'll help him get him through for the next couple months till the summertime. So we'll have more time and more area, actually, because these walls will be down, to actually install a new boiler.